Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego. Today is July 30th, 2026. July 30th, 2026, and time for a live stream. Time for me to answer all your questions on your green card process, your K1 visa process, etc. Try not to stress the process, try not to panic. Understand that everything takes time. The green card processing, the 2-year green card, the 10-year green card, everything takes time, and also the K1 visa application. Now, it's what time is it? Well, it's a couple of minutes to 6 p.m. Central Time here in the Panhandle of Florida, near Pensacola. And today is what? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, July 30th, 2026. Normally I do a live stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but yesterday I didn't do a live stream. I just did not have the time. But anyway, I took a night off. So here we are, ready to go on a Thursday. It's a different night. And hopefully, if you have any questions for me, you can jump on here and ask me your questions. Normally, though, it's on a Wednesday or a Saturday, but today is on a Thursday. Yesterday was a day off. Now, the K1 visa process is easy. The green card process is easy. You shouldn't be panicking. You shouldn't be stressing it. You should not be hiring immigration attorneys. You don't need to hire an immigration attorney. If you have a criminal record, Mr. American Citizen Sponsor, a criminal record, you should pull your criminal history from the courthouse, take it to an immigration attorney for a consultation, have the immigration attorney review your criminal history and see if you actually qualify for the visa. If you don't qualify for the visa, don't waste your time. It's going to get denied. But if the immigration attorney says you're good to go after the consultation, then you go home and you process the K1 visa, you process the paperwork by yourself. Or you can jump on a live stream if you get stuck and you need help. You can ask me how to do it. I'll even fill out your paperwork for you and help you with your paperwork and go through it and explain everything. But in order to do that, you got to get my phone number. You got to have my email address. And in order to get that, you got to be a member of the channel. You can down here somewhere, you can join as a member. And if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want me to do all the legwork for you, you can join. But remember, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. But I do have almost close to now 14 years experience processing green cards and K1 visas. I've been doing this for a long time. I can do it in my sleep. And one thing about this channel is you will never hear me ask anyone to subscribe to the channel. You will never hear anyone ask you to share the videos. It's really, honestly, it's not necessary for me to do that. Either you like the information I put out or you don't. If you don't like the information I put out, then don't watch the videos. Don't watch the channel. If you do like the stuff that I put out, if I help you significantly, which I do, then come on along and ask me your questions. I can give you the answer right now without you having to call USCIS. You can get on the phone to USCIS if you want to, but I don't know how long the wait is. What, an hour, 2 hours? I don't know. It's a long time. Or you can just ask me right here. I got the information in my head. I've been doing this. I've helped hundreds of people get their green cards, get their K1 visas approved. You got to qualify for the benefit, though. Lots of people, they apply for K1 visas and they get denied because they didn't qualify for the benefit. All right. They had criminal records. They filled out the paperwork incorrectly. They've never met their fiance. There are some people who file for a K1 visa who have never met the person that they're filing the K1 visa for. You are not going to get a K1 visa approved if you have never spent any time with the person that you want to marry. A K1 visa is a one-way entry into the United States so you can get married to somebody. It's not a dating app. It's not so you can date somebody in the United States for 90 days. It's so you can marry the person. So you want to be in a relationship that's real. You want to be together at least a year. You want to make at least 2 trips to visit this person, spend a lot of time with each other. You don't want to marry somebody and bring them to the United States and sign an affidavit of support, say you're going to take care of them, and then the relationship falls apart in the first 2 weeks. What happens if you get married and the relationship falls apart? Well, Mr. American Citizen Sponsor, you are responsible for those people, that person. You are responsible financially for that person, whether you're married to him or if you divorce him. If you divorce him, you're still financially responsible for him, unless they go back to their home country. Then you're not. Then the affidavit of support becomes null and void if they go back to their home country, or if they become a U.S. citizen, or if they have a 10 years worth of work credits from the Social Security Administration, or if they pass away. When you sign the affidavit of support and you include it in that 2-year green card application, you are signing a contract with the U.S. government that is enforceable, and President Trump is enforcing those affidavits. There are people getting surprise letters in the mail because they didn't think it was going to happen to them, where they signed the affidavit of support, they divorced the person, and then the person, the foreign national, goes on welfare or gets, government help from somewhere, and then all of a sudden the American citizen sponsor's getting the bill for that, or the beneficiary sues the American sponsor for financial support. It happens. It's happening frequently, and President Trump is telling immigration, if the American citizen sponsor is financially responsible for the beneficiary, there's no getting around it. And American citizens sponsors are getting letters from USCIS saying that if you do not repay this money to the U.S. government or the state authorities or the federal authorities, we're going to sue you and we're going to take the money from you. So be careful when you are bringing someone to this country. Be careful what paperwork you sign, especially the affidavit of support, because you are signing a contract with the U.S. government that says you are responsible for the person's health care, welfare, food, electricity, everything, clothing, a roof over their head, electricity, gas, water, everything. 100% responsibility falls on the shoulders of the American. Okay? So be careful. When you start jumping into a K-1 visa, you're excited. Hey, I met this beautiful lady or gentleman. We want to get married. Make sure that person is for real. Number one, make sure you are in a real relationship. Don't make the mistake of bringing somebody to the United States and then the whole thing falls apart, and then that person has a green card, and you are going to be you're going to be footing the bill for that person. Even if you file divorce papers, you're still responsible. You get divorced from the person, okay, but you still are responsible financially because you signed the contract. The U.S. government couldn't care less if you're married or divorced. You're going to support that person for at least 10 years or until they become a U.S. citizen or they go back to their home country. If they return to their home country, then the contract's null and void. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you some good advice. And that good advice is, if you want to marry somebody, make sure it's real. Make sure you really want to be together with each other. Make sure you get along, that you have the same interests, the same culture, basically, as close as you can get, the same kind of religious beliefs as close as you can get. It doesn't have to be exact, but immigration is now looking very hard at what do you have in common with each other in the relationship. And you must include that in your K-1 visa application, right? I dated Karina for 3 years. I made 5 trips to Bogota, Colombia. Karina, my beautiful wife, is from Venezuela, and she relocated to Colombia, Bogota, in July of 2018. And I met her in May we started dating and talking to each other, actually, in May of 2021. And then we dated each other for 3 years. And then I brought her to the United States in January of 2024. And we got married on the beach here in Florida. And that was over 2 years ago. And now we're waiting for her 10-year green card to get adjudicated. But we were together for 5 years. For 3 years dating. We were dating for 3 years. Don't rush into a decision because if you make a mistake, it's going to be very expensive. And the U.S. government is like the Borg. They don't care. They're Mr. American Citizen Sponsor. If you don't take care of that beneficiary, married or not, if she's in the United States on the green card and you're divorced, doesn't matter. You are going to be held responsible for that person. Okay? That's when you sign the affidavit of support. It's a contract, and they're enforcing it. And Americans are getting letters. Hey, your beneficiary's on welfare. She's collecting $800 a month or whatever. You're going to pay us back, the government, for that income, because it's public charge. Listen to Diego. Pay close attention. But it's not to scare you, because I know that you guys watching this channel, that you are in real relationships, that your income is sufficient, and that you both want to be together, and you're going to be living a long, happy life together here in America. Right? I was just looking up over here and to see. So Karina's going to join us on Saturday. She's tired today. She's been working all week. And so she's tired today, but she'll join us on Saturday. And hopefully the storm that we had, there's a storm coming in here in the Panhandle of Florida. Hopefully it doesn't knock out the internet and all the lights, but it could. But so far, I don't hear any thunder anymore. And Vinny, our cat, whenever there's thunder in the sky, she dives under the bed because she's scared of thunder. Our other cat, Riddy, couldn't care less. I mean, he'll just lay on the bed and watch TV. But, he won't be outside in the yard, though. So we got two cats. Our first cat we brought from Colombia named Tokyo. But unfortunately, Tokyo passed away. He was in the back garden. I don't know what he did. He ate something that wasn't agreeable to him. And so he got real sick. And so the veterinarian put him down because they couldn't save him. But we bought Tokyo from Colombia. He's a Colombian cat. But he got to spend 7 months here in beautiful Florida. If you are from one of those 75 countries that are currently under an immigration block, it's going through the courts. One person in the White House, one person at USCIS cannot override Congress and say, we're not going to adjudicate those green cards. That doesn't work. The Constitution of the United States, the Immigration and Nationality Act, the Congress of the United States, those are the folks that run immigration, not the president. The president obviously can have his opinion, but the Congress is what makes the laws. So if you're from one of those 75 countries, try to relax. It's going to get thrown out, overturned, and you will be getting your wife or your husband or your family member his or her green card. It's just being slowed down right now. And I'm sad to hear about it, because we're a country where we accept immigrants. We want immigrants to come here. We don't want to leave them, separated from their American citizen families. But apparently right now we're in that kind of a situation, and just got to be patient. As far as the folks who are on temporary protective status, we got Syrians, we got Haitians, Venezuelans, we got all kinds of folks, right? Well, the T stands for temporary, which means your status in the United States was temporary. Presidents in the past have not canceled that status. President Trump has canceled the status for temporary protective status. It's canceled. So if you are from Syria, from Haiti, Venezuela, temporary protection, you are going to be out of status now, which means you got to go back to your home country. If you don't, immigration will come find you, arrest you, deport you, unless you have a immigration status that you can file. But I think it's too late now. You should have done that before you went out of status. You should have filed for a different kind of immigration status. So it's unfortunate, very unfortunate. But those folks now, it's like 300,000 Haitians, something like that, are being told, you got to go home. Quite a few are flying back to Haiti. They're getting on planes, Miami, primarily Orlando, flying back to Port-au-Prince, back to their country of origin. But some folks, they've been here for 10, 12 years. But what they didn't really understand was the temporary part of temporary protective status. It didn't say permanent status, it said temporary. So they came here, and what they should have done is just, basically checked in every 2 years with immigration and not established any roots. They should have just stayed here temporarily without establishing any roots. But a lot of those folks have established roots, had families, got married. Now, those folks that got married, they should have more than likely already applied for an adjustment of status, immigration status, adjustment of status. Hopefully they get approved and they won't have to leave the United States. But for the most part, those folks from those countries are being told, you got to go home. And if you don't go home, you're going to be hunted down, detained, put on a plane, and flown home without your happy, whether you like it or not. Okay. But if you are coming into this country on a K-1 visa and you bring a K-2 with you or a spousal visa, then you're okay. You're in status. Remember, the K-1 visa, when you enter the United States, the K-1 visa goes away, and then you fall into what's known as an I-94. So you get your I-94, and you look at it, and the Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol issue the I-94. You look at the dates. There's a 90-day window of time that you're allowed to stay in the United States. That's why when you go to your visa interview at the embassy, it's recognized as a non-immigrant visa because you're given a 90 days temporary status in the United States, unless you get married. If you get married within those 90 days and file for a 2-year green card within those 90 days, then your status changes from non-immigrant to immigrant. Okay? So when you go to the K-1 visa interview, you're in a non-immigrant status. That's why you fill out a declaration of financial support, Mr. American Citizen Sponsor, the I-134. Okay? The I-134 is the non-immigrant, it's proving your income for a non-immigrant visa. The K-1 gets approved, you arrive in America, you accompany American Citizen Sponsor. Hopefully you accompany your beneficiary to the United States. And if you do, the good news is you will have less of a hassle going through the Border Patrol checkpoint. Your beneficiary will get her I-94 or his I-94. You want to print 5 copies of the I-94, at least 5 copies, because that's going to be your status in America while you're waiting for your 2-year green card to get adjudicated, or until you get the letter saying that they have accepted your 2-year green card application. I want to give you an orange juice salute here real quick. So you want to carry the I-94 around with you in your wallet, in the glove box of your car. And one of the first things you want to do upon getting into the United States and printing your I-94 is to go get a Social Security number at the Social Security office, bring your passport, your I-94 with you, and you'll get issued a Social Security number. And then you want to get the 2-year green card. You want to apply for it within at least 65, 70, 75 days, somewhere in there, after you arrive in America. Not after you get married, after you arrive in America. Karina arrived in the United States, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, January 3rd, 2024. We got married January 14th, 2024, and we applied for her 2-year green card on February 29th, which was a leap year. 2024 was a leap year. And she got her 2-year green card in about 3 months after that. Okay. Now remember, when you apply for the 2-year green card, you must also include Form 693, which is the medical exam. You got to repeat the medical exam. If you do not include Form 693 when you apply for your 2-year green card, your package is going to get denied or sent back to you, rejected. You might be lucky and get an RFE, but immigration are basically saying, if you don't know how to fill out this paperwork correctly, we're just going to deny the whole freaking thing. And that's happening quite a lot. Okay? So you file for the 2-year green card. You want to do it about 65, 70 days. So you do it in the 90-day window of time on the I-94. If you do that, okay, your green card processing will run a lot smoother and a lot easier if you do that. Okay, I don't care what country you're from. Even if you're from one of those 75 block countries and you're in the United States, applying for your 2-year green card. You're going to get it because you're going from a non-immigrant to an immigrant visa. Okay, so try to relax on that. Those 39 countries that were put on an indefinite hold by USCIS, totally illegal what they did, violated the Immigration and Nationality Act, and 2 federal judges overturned that. And that included the country of Venezuela, which my beautiful wife is from. She's from Venezuela. So she got her letter of extension already. She got, when she filed for her 10-year green card, it took about 3 weeks, I guess. And she got her letter of extension for 48 months. So her 2-year green card expired June of 2026, but her letter of extension extended her 2-year green card until June of 2030. June of 2030, in 2029, we have an election for a new president, and in a couple of months, we have an election for a new Congress. So pay attention to what's going on politically, because politicians are running this dog and pony show at USCIS. They're running the show. The president thinks he is. He's overriding the Congress, which is, he's being told you can't do that. Now, I understand what Trump's mindset is. He's trying to protect our country, okay, from bad apples in our country. But the thing he doesn't realize is that you get vetted already. When you go for your K-1 visa interview, you've been vetted by security, by the police certificates, by the FBI. Everybody's being vetted properly. So he basically just had a knee-jerk reaction. That's all. I got allergies, guys. Sorry, I'm itching. My nose is itchy. My eyes are watery. That happens to me in the summer sometimes here in beautiful Florida. Now, this process for the K-1 visa is easy to do. The I-129F is easy to fill out. And you got to make sure that you identify the correct location where you want to have your beneficiary have her K-1 visa interview. You get to pick which embassy. Primarily, you want to pick an embassy or a consulate in the country that she's living in, right? So that's the goal. Fill out the paperwork. It's easy. If you need help with it, let me know. I'll help you with it. You can screenshot your I-129F to me, to my cell phone, or you can email it to me, and I'll review it for you and see if you make any stupid mistakes. If you've made any stupid mistakes, I will fix it and send it back to you that same day. So, hey, you made a mistake. This is going to cost you it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you a denial if you continue down this garden path. Remember, folks, I've been doing this a very, very long time. I've helped so many people get their green cards and their K-1 visas. I don't know. I've lost count. I don't have a count. This YouTube channel has been running for 6 years. Okay. But it started out as a cooking channel. And then I switched it to an Exploring Colombia channel when I was in Colombia. And then Karina, we were on vacation in Villa de Leyva in central Colombia. And she said, why don't you switch the channel into an immigration channel? I said, okay. So we changed it to an immigration channel. And then in Bogota, we reached our 1,000 subscribers in order for me to run the live stream. And then I started the live stream in Bogota on a laptop. And now here I am in an office in Florida in our house on a big old desktop. So we kept the channel going. I do this because I want to help get families reunification. I don't want to see families separated from each other. I don't like to see boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancés, husbands, wives, moms, dads, brothers, sisters. I don't like seeing you guys separated from each other. So I do this on my spare time. This is my time that I could be doing other things with, but I would much rather be spending it with you guys, helping you get through this process. So then one day you can say, hey, Diego, I got my K-1 visa approved. I say, great, there you go. How did you get it? Well, I watched all your videos. I listened to the live stream, blah, blah, blah. When you go meet your beneficiary for the first time, okay, make sure you take lots and lots of pictures with her or him, with his or her family members. Photos together with family members and friends. Immigration couldn't care less about selfies. Number one, selfies can be easily photoshopped. And number two, a selfie is not showing that everybody knows about your relationship. Remember, you got to prove to immigration your relationship is real, and that the way to do that in photos is to say, hey, I was in Colombia with Karina, her brothers came over, her nieces, her nephews, and we took pictures together as a group, as family. We did stuff in Bogota together as family. She got a big family. We go to the park in Simon Bolivar Park in Bogota. There's be like 20 of us there because she has a big family, lots of friends. And we get pictures together. And then on the pictures with all the family, with her and myself and her sister, her brothers, you identify the names of the people in the photos. You identify the date when the picture was taken and where was the picture taken. And you want to include at least 50, 60 pictures now with your K-1 visa application showing that you've been dating this person for at least a year. You've made at least 2 trips to go visit the person. You spent at least a couple of months together, right? I mean, I lived with Karina in Bogota for basically back and forth for 3 years here to Florida. I was running a house here in Florida and I was running a house in Bogota. My name was on the rent receipts for the apartment in Bogota. When Karina got to the United States, the first thing we did was get her social security number. And then I put her on the bank account. And then on the water bill and the trash bill and the electric bill and the title to the car, blah, blah, blah. And then for the next 50, 60 days, 2 months, we collected the evidence of her being with me here in the house here in Florida. Her name was on the title to the house, to the title to the car. Her name is on the bills as they came in through the computer here. So when you file for the 2-year green card, you only have about, say, 75, 80 days to collect sufficient evidence to get you started. But when you file for the 10-year green card, you must include 2 years plus worth of evidence, plus the stuff you submitted for the K-1 visa. Excluding, now you don't have to include the K-1 visa in your 10-year green card application. You don't have to include a repeat medical exam for the 10-year green card. For the 2-year green card, you must have a repeat medical exam with a Form 693, signed by a civil surgeon in the United States in the town you live in, certified by the State Department to conduct green card medical exams. But for the 10-year green card, you don't have to repeat it. For the 10-year green card, you don't have to include the I-94. For the 2-year green card, you do. If you don't include Form I-94 in your 2-year green card application, your package will be sent back denied or rejected. The I-94 is your legal status in the United States, saying that you went face-to-face with a Border Patrol officer and the Border Patrol officer gave you legal entry into the United States. Welcome to America. The Border Patrol controls this process at this point. Okay? So you must include the I-94 in your 2-year green card application. Very important. If you don't, you're going to have consequences. You must include the medical exam in your 2-year green card application. If you don't, you're going to have consequences. Okay? And it's okay to include photos of when you were dating each other. Like when we filed for Karina's 2-year green card, we included pictures from 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. When we filed for Karina's 10-year green card application, we included pictures together with family and friends starting in 2021 all the way through to June of 2026. Right? That's a lot of evidence. Karina's 10-year green card application weighed 15.2 pounds in a giant binder. You cannot ever submit too much information to immigration. If you submit too little information, if you submit just the basics, there's a good chance your green card will be denied. Immigration are no longer really giving anybody the time of day if they don't have the patience or the time or the sweat equity to put into that application. So when you file for a 10-year green card, you should have at least 22 bank statements showing both names on the bank statements, showing both of you, showing proof of both of you participating in running the house where you live, or the apartment, or the townhouse, or if you live in an RV. It doesn't matter. You just have to prove that you are both helping each other as a family to run the household. Okay? Evidence, evidence, evidence. If you go on a road trip somewhere with your new husband or wife, keep stay in a hotel for a couple of nights or whatever. Keep the receipts. Take pictures there. Okay? When we filed for Karina's 10-year green card, we had been on vacation to the Grand Canyon. Okay? So, and also to Segelman, Arizona, where the movie Cars, the inspiration for the movie Cars was filmed. We took pictures there. We had pictures, in Las Vegas. And then we went back to Nevada for a second time, but we didn't have time. We couldn't include pictures because we had already mailed off her 10-year green card application. But we included the proof of purchasing the plane tickets to go back on vacation to Nevada. You gotta show that you're doing stuff together as a family. Okay? If you brought any children over to the United States on a K2, you have to file a separate green card application for that child. You have to file a separate fee. That's for the 2-year green card. You have to include a separate I-94 for the child, a copy of the K2 visa, the child's passport biographic page. Okay? But when you file for the 10-year green card, you can do it on one form, the I-751, and you can file for the children on one document. You don't have to file for separate documents anymore. The only time you would have to file a separate I-751 for a child, for that child's green card, 10-year green card, is if they didn't come into the United States within 90 days at the same time as the K1. So if you came into America on a K1 and you brought a child with you at the same time, then both your 2-year green cards are going to basically have the same issue date, okay, and the same expiration date. Then you can then file one stack of paperwork for the child for the 10-year green card. You file one, it's $750 if you do the paper way, which is what I recommend. And also, don't forget that you cannot pay for your green cards or your immigration benefits with a check anymore, or a cashier's check, or a personal check. You have to use a form that was created by USCIS, and I recommend you use the debit form, okay, and just have the money taken straight out of your checking or savings account using Form G1650. Also include Form G1145. That form will help immigration notify you when they receive your benefit application. If you include that form in your application, they'll send you a text message with your receipt number already on it. Mostly it's going to be an IOE number. Okay? You got it? It's not difficult. You can do this. And I'll pull you over the finish line. I won't let you fail. I'm not going to let you fail. All right. If you have any questions, if you get stuck with anything, let me know. Especially our members. Now, members, you have access to my phone number and email. Don't be shy to send me a text message if you have an urgent question. I'm here to help you. I don't want to see you make a stupid mistake and then we have to go into emergency overdrive to try to fix the mistake that you made. Right now, we're working with an administration that is not going to tolerate mistakes in your application. Mistakes and errors will be your application will be just tossed aside and then rejected. RFEs are getting fewer and fewer. But that means the good news is that the folks that do fill out the paperwork correctly, that don't make any stupid mistakes on filling out their paperwork, their green cards are getting processed a lot quicker than the people that make the stupid mistakes. Because immigration is no longer stopping what they're doing to fill out an RFE to tell you that you messed up, you got to fix this and fix this and fix this. They're done with that. Now you might get an RFE for something that's easy to fix, something simple, but for the most part, immigration will just deny your green card or reject it and make you reapply all over again. Just don't make any mistakes. And if you want me to help you with your paperwork, I'm here to help you. I can do it in my sleep. I can look at an application for a 2-year green card of 485. I can look at it, and I can scan through it in about 5 or 6 minutes, and I can see immediately if it's screwed up just by looking at it. And then I can fix it. And then I can tell you it's messed up. The Real Brownie. Now, the Real Brownie is from the United Kingdom, and he's a member of this channel, which we appreciate. Good evening, Diego. Hope you're doing well today. We are good. We're doing great. Karina's taking the night off. Yesterday, I was supposed to do the live stream, but I just couldn't. So I'm going to do it here Thursday. And then usually I do the live stream on Wednesdays and also on Saturdays. But yesterday, I just couldn't do it. So here it is Thursday, a day late, but not $1 short, right? And I'm running the live stream here on a Thursday. And I'm here to I don't want to see you making the stupid mistakes that's going to cost you a green card when it's not necessary. The I-129F used the current edition, the 2025 edition, used the current edition that they have out there. And I want to make a video tomorrow on how you can subscribe to USCIS for when they update their forms. When they update their forms, I'll teach you how to get an email from immigration to tell you, hey, the 485 is updated. So that way, the I-129F has been updated, or the 751, whatever. So that way, when you're in this green card processing pipeline, you're not going to fill out the wrong freaking form. The Real Brownie, we sent off our AR-11 and I-865 forms today. So you sent out your change of address forms. Now, the change of address form AR-11 is for you, Brownie, and the form I-865 is for your American citizen sponsor. Remember, if you move, you must notify USCIS. If you do not notify USCIS that you have moved, there is a nice big fine that is awaiting you, Mr. American citizen sponsor, and there's a good chance that there will be issues for your beneficiary. Serious immigration issues. So if you move, if you are the beneficiary, you fill out form AR-11. If you are the American citizen sponsor, you fill out form I-865. And you got to do it within 10 days. And you said you sent off your forms today, Real Brownie. So that means you must be on the way from Missouri to Tennessee. Isn't that correct? Didn't you relocate from Missouri to Tennessee? So you went from a Missouri that likes to tax the living daylights out of people to Tennessee, which has zero income tax on income. State tax, I should say. You still got to pay federal tax, but you don't have any state income tax. So you got a pay raise moving to Tennessee. There's a few states that you don't have to pay state income tax. Florida is one of them. Texas is another one. But Texas, they have ridiculously high property taxes. The property taxes in Texas are absolutely insane. The Real Brownie. Yes, sir. We moved on the 25th of July. Hey, I'm good, right? We finally got things unpacked. Very good. And we're just doing all of our paperwork, so we're all good. Well, welcome to Tennessee, Real Brownie. You're getting to travel across the United States. I'm assuming you drove from Missouri to Tennessee with a big U-Haul towing behind you. And welcome to Tennessee. Now, it's a very beautiful. Tennessee's a beautiful place. There's lots of things you can do there. Lots of mountains. You can go rent a cabin, maybe in the mountains, and you're going to have a great experience living in Tennessee, especially when you get all your unpacking done, and then you know where everything is. You got to play. You know where to put your toothbrush. You know where to put your clothes, right? You're gonna have to relocate the screen, the big screen TV somewhere. But at least you paid attention and you listened to me when I told you what forms you got to file. The Real Brownie. Yes, a nice 10-hour drive. Was good to see. We live close to Pigeon Forge. Okay, so we're right next to the Smoky Mountains. Very good. I think you're close to Dolly Parton's neck of the woods. The singer Dolly Parton, country singer. Everybody knows who Dolly Parton is, but not everybody does if they're not from this country. So go ahead, and if you get a chance, go to Dollywood if you can do that. Go and hang out there. If it's open, I don't even know if it's open. But congratulations, the Real Brownie, on moving and from Missouri to Tennessee, and welcome to a new part of this country. Now, it's going to get probably a little cold in the wintertime. You might get to see some snow, but at least you get a pay raise, because now you don't have to pay state income tax on your income. So your wife and yourself, when you start working, you're going to see a significant increase in income. The Real Brownie, thank you, and thanks for keeping us up to date on all the immigration news. You're welcome. Like I said, I was separated from Karina for a year while we were going through this freaking K-1 visa process, and I used up all my time on visas. I got a 1-year visa to live in Colombia. I burned that up. And then because I used up all my visa time in Colombia, I had to come back to the United States for a year so in order for me to go back to Colombia, and where I could be reissued another 6 months worth of visas. So we were separated for a year, and it was pretty rough. We didn't like it at all, but we stayed in touch with each other with the WhatsApp, whatever it's called. And I would screenshot our chats together, and I'll be at work and screenshot me at work and print it off the computer, and in preparation for her. Excuse me, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm sleepy because I'm preparing for this time change, which isn't going to happen. Hopefully, I hope we don't spring forward or fall back anymore. I'm so sick of doing that. When do we fall back? Was it in October? I think it is. It just sucks to do that. I don't think they'd have the time change in Hawaii or in Arizona. I think those are two places that got smart. They don't have a time change there. But when they switch the clocks back, I have a whole week trying to recover from it. I don't like it. So the Real Brownie is in Tennessee, and you're doing good. Close to Halloween, the Real Brownie. Close to Halloween is the fall back. So the clocks go back an hour somewhere in October. Well, let's hope we don't have to do that. Let's hope they just stay where they're at, so that way nobody gets their, circadian clocks all messed up, whatever it's called. Because it does it creates significant issues with the brain when you switch times like that. Imagine you're an airline pilot and you're scheduled to fly at 2 a.m. from A to Z, and at 2 a.m. the clock switches back, falls back to 3 a.m. How insane is that? I just hope that the Congress and the Senate and the president get rid of that ridiculous time change. To me, it's just a nightmare. I don't like it. Okay, now, if you're going to be in this country with a 2-year green card, you got to be focusing on becoming a U.S. citizen. Focus your mind on becoming a citizen. If you are a beneficiary, a foreign national married to an American, you can apply for U.S. citizenship 3 years from the issue date of your 2-year green card. Okay? So Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, the issue date of her 2-year green card was June 26, 2024. So June 27th, 2027, she can apply for U.S. citizenship. But remember also, when you apply for U.S. citizenship, you have to be able to be fluent in English, reading, writing, everything. The civics test is in English, the interview is in English, everything is in English. So make sure if you're getting ready to apply for U.S. citizenship, you can do it 3 years from the issue date of your 2-year green card, minus 90 days. You can, 90 days before the 36 months. So at the 33-month mark, you can apply, and then it'll be scheduled by the 36th month. Fazak, I'm lucky if I get 4 hours of sleep, so clock change doesn't affect me. There you go. Pilots and flight attendants swear by melatonin. I'm groggy the next day if I take that. Well, yeah, I can understand, but imagine members of the military. Imagine a Navy person standing a watch on the bridge of a ship off the coast of North Carolina, and their watch is going to get extended an hour or shortened by an hour. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me why the government decided to mess with the times like that. I understand back maybe 100 years ago, they needed the extra daylight for the farmers, but we're now where we can go to a freaking Walmart if we need some food. We don't have to, we're dependent on the farmers, obviously, for food, but we can go to Halloween to buy our stuff. We can go to Walmart, Publix, stuff like that. We don't need to, the farmers don't need the extra daylight. It was mainly for children who were working on the farms, not for the adults. It was for the children. Back in the day, 12 and 13-year-olds would drop out of school and they'd be working on the farm with their family. But times have changed. Clint and I, we've been planning our vacation for 2027. It's almost August. What's today? July 30th, 2026. Soon it will be 2027. The time is flying by. If you're waiting for your K-1 visa to get approved, it's going to be approved if you qualify for the benefit. If you're waiting for you're trying to set up an appointment at an embassy or a consulate, you can do it. It's not hard to do. If you need my help doing it, like I helped set up the interview for a gentleman in Germany, his beneficiary, I think she was from the Philippines, living in Germany or Indonesia, and he couldn't figure out how to schedule an interview at the embassy in Frankfurt, Germany. So I basically ran him through it, did it for him, showed him how to do it, and he got it done. If you are going to an embassy interview at the U.S. Embassy in London, the sponsor cannot accompany the beneficiary. If you're going to a interview at a K-1 visa interview at the embassy in Manila, Philippines, the American citizen sponsor cannot accompany you. They can sit outside or wait outside of the embassy gates or sit down inside the embassy and hang out. But if you are going to a visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, the American citizen sponsor is most welcome into the embassy in Bogota to accompany your beneficiary to the visa interview. Okay, so London and the Philippines, American citizens cannot go to the visa interview. They have to wait out in the lobby or whatever. And don't forget the security checks that you're going to have to encounter when you go into the embassy. And remember, the DS-160, when you fill out the DS-160 for the visa interview, okay, and you print it for your beneficiary, there's a barcode on that DS-160. That barcode is going to be scanned at the embassy. It must match the one that you printed off on your computer. They're going to know, okay? So if you mess up the DS-160 and you redo it, that's fine, but you're going to have to print a brand new DS-160 barcode. If you fill out your DS-160 and you mess it up, but you sent it and you printed it, you got the printout in your hand with the barcode on it, and then you realize you made a mistake, and you go back and redo the DS-160, which you can do, and you print a new barcode, make sure you bring the new barcode piece of paper to your interview. Otherwise, you are not going to get into the embassy. They're going to say, this isn't the correct barcode. Word to the wise. Okay. Okay, guys, any questions? I've been talking almost an hour. I was supposed to be doing a live stream yesterday, but I couldn't get on here. So I did it today, Thursday. And then I'll be back with Karina on what day? Come on, Saturday, right? 6 p.m. Central Time. We got Brownie. I'm glad you figured out the paperwork for the move. Remember, if you move, you got to fill out those forms, the AR-11 for the beneficiary and the I-865 for the American citizen sponsor. If you do not notify immigration of your move with the new address, you will have issues with immigration in the future. And it is a punishable offense. They can prosecute you for not identifying your new location. Okay? If you go to apply for U.S. citizenship and the address that you fill in for your current address doesn't match the one on file with immigration because you freaking moved and didn't tell immigration, you will not be given U.S. citizenship. If you move and don't tell immigration, you fill out the N-400, apply for citizenship, you go to your citizenship interview, the lady or gentleman's going to say, okay, your current address is right here, correct? Yes. Well, it's not correct because you didn't update them. You're not going to become a U.S. citizen if you move and you don't notify immigration. That is a reason for denial. Food for thought. The Real Brownie, we appreciate you a lot. Well, Creed and I, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. And we will definitely be back on Saturday. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday, but I just couldn't get on to the live stream yesterday. And like I said, if you want to call me, if anybody wants to text me, email me, you're having an immigration emergency, you got to join as a member. The only way you get my phone number is if you join as a member. It's not that I want your money. I couldn't care less to take your money, but it's the only way YouTube explained to me how I can keep track of who's got the phone number and the email address in order to protect this channel from those nefarious people out there that like to go around trying to hijack YouTube channels. Nasty people, right? But it is what it is. That's life. Okay, guys, I will be back on Saturday with the beautiful Karina, and we will see you then.